And joining us now live from the Fantasy Sports Trade Association convention in Dallas is Mr. Greg Lambrecht. Greg is the CEO of Singlepoint Incorporated. S-I-N-G is their stock symbol. Greg, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Don.
Well, of course, Greg, you've been talking about going to this convention for a while, but in this particular case, you've arrived there with kind of a shopping list. How are things going?
Well, I have to tell you, it couldn't have gone better for Singlepoint. We were able to meet with 3 or 4 fantasy sports companies that are all interested in talking to Singlepoint about a possible acquisition, and we hope to be making some announcements shortly.
I remember when we last spoke with you, you had mentioned that you had a couple of verbal agreements, maybe some letters of intent or memos of understanding that were being drafted. So you've made further progress since then?
Yes, we have. In fact, we have, probably the way the show went, I expect to actually have 2 letters of intent coming forward and possibly more.
Now, what was really interesting in our last conversation, you mentioned that the people who basically play fantasy sports, they don't stick with just one company like FanDuel. They actually play a number of them, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And, one of the things that Singlepoint is trying to do here is all the fantasy sports companies are all private, including FanDuel and DraftKings. So, again, we're trying to do a roll-up of some of the smaller companies and really be the first public company that the average investor can invest in fantasy sports on the OTC markets.
And basically, the fantasy sports concept and the way that it's administrated and the way fans use it fits in perfectly with your business model, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, because we're a mobile payments company. So some of the fantasy sports companies that we're talking to, we're also talking about using our technology.
Well, once again, the company is Singlepoint Incorporated, S-I-N-G, coming to us from the Fantasy Sports Trade Association in Dallas. Greg Lambrecht. Greg, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.